You have just met 3 children who are coming of age remarkably well, despite one added source of anxiety. Their mothers are lesbians. But there is more to this story because gay men are also becoming parents, many through adoption, but not all. Some, like the 2 men you will meet now, and they have 2 little girls. How does that all work with no mom? And what is life really like for daddy's little girls? Children's artwork says it all. It tells the story of a family with 2 fathers, together for nearly 20 years, and their daughters, Emma, who is 10, and Camille, who is 7. They are energetic girls, affectionate, pretty. Just everyday kids who have to put up with the normal aggravation. They're like other kids in most ways, but of course not all. Not only are their parents gay, they're men. There is no mommy in their house. Some people might say, if you have 2 dads, you may not be happy. Are you happy?
I'm very happy.
Very, very happy, actually.
I will not trade one of my dads for a mom, and I would not trade, definitely not trade both of my dads for another mom and another dad.
Oh, I wanted to add when she was saying if they were going to be sent to jail for no reason, I would not let them go. I wouldn't. Or if they had to go to war, I don't know why, but if they had to, I wouldn't let them go either.
Why?
Because I wouldn't want them to die.
It's like we love our dads as much as our friends like their mom and dad.
You know, there are people who could accept lesbian parents because women are the primary nurturers. But with 2 men, they could say something basic is missing, and what is missing is mother love. What do you say?
Our children are the most nurtured, loved, mother-loved. There is no mistake about that. They have so much love.
How did this family get started? It all began in 1984 when Laurent, who grew up in Dijon, France, was working as a flight attendant. Joe, a very successful stockbroker at the time, was traveling to New York from Paris on Laurent's flight. And it was lovely.
Is more beautiful today than he was that day I met him, and we have never been more in love.
17 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Joe and Laurent settled in Manhattan, where they still live today, and they soon discovered that they had something very special in common. They both planned to have children somehow, which was unusual for gay men at that time. As it turns out, they were at the very beginning of a trend, which started about 10 years ago. Gay men, like these dads, decide. These are men who say, just because I'm gay doesn't. Laurent decided to have children through a surrogate mother, a woman who would be inseminated with their sperm, and then once she gave birth, would legally turn the baby over to them.
You know, we looked for 2 years for a woman that would be willing to have our children, and she's been wonderful.
His mother became pregnant in 1990, but it was through a controversial approach to artificial insemination. Joe and Laurent intentionally mixed their sperm together so they wouldn't know who the biological father would be. They say they did it to create family unity. Did you care whether you had sons or daughters?
No. As long as we had a healthy baby, we were happy.
And their happiness finally arrived in January 1991 when Emma was born. 2.5 years later, Nicole gave birth to Camille, and Emma had a new baby sister. They had become one big happy family, even as they defied social convention.
When they were infants, people would say to us, "Where's the mother?"
It is interesting, people never say, "Where's the dad?"
No. In society, people expect children to have a mom.
So there's no mother, but there is a mom figure in this household. Laurent is Mr. Mom. He takes care of the house, does a lot of cooking, and usually is the one to help the girls get ready for school or go out with their friends.
Ma, do you want to put some like shiny butterfly in your hair?
Laurent, in the day-to-day life, you take care of the children, forgive me, more like a mother.
Somebody told me in the neighborhood just the other day, you are the best mother of the neighborhood. And that's okay. Who wants cream for their hand?
While Laurent does have the soft, nurturing touch expected of mothers,
Those are really pretty.
is it enough to help the girls as they develop a sense of themselves as growing females? What are you going to do when your girls get their first period?
We've talked to Emma a lot about her first period, and we're going to go out to dinner and have a little bit of a celebration.
What happens when they get their first bras, Laurent?
Doesn't scare me. I mean, it's they could pick it.
You'll go with
find
them?
it. Yeah, sure. If they don't want me to, they could go with friends.
Well, then get trade with Papa.
The most likely friend is their neighbor, Leonore.
We're having fun.
Joe and Laurent have encouraged her relationship with the girls from the time they were little. Like many gay parents, they've made sure that the girls have people of their own gender in their lives.
She said that if I have any problem, I could talk to her.
You have Leonore here if you want to ask her sort of girl-type questions, huh? Yeah? Perhaps that's because they live in a very liberal New York neighborhood, or because they haven't reached middle school yet, when children can be especially cruel. Nevertheless, they have picked up on the fact that a lot of people look down on gays.
When, like, my friend was holding her friend's hand, it said, "Ooh, you're gay." And I said, "But what's bad about that?" And sometimes when they think that I'm not listening, they just kind of talk about gay people and how it's funny and silly and stupid and all that stuff.
Camille seems to be preparing herself mentally should she be teased.
If somebody would tease me, you gotta give it, well, I would say, so what's so bad about that?
Good shot.
But so far, having gay parents doesn't seem to preoccupy or embarrass Emma and Camille. They have a big circle of friends, always seem busy, and they do well in school. They're Chinese and already speak Spanish and French fluently. With all the good news about your children, you know that there are people who say this is against nature, this is against God, this is sinful.
What religion could possibly condemn a loving family? How could that be bad?
Well, because it could say that the children have confusion, that the children will have gender
Because they're
problems.
loved?
Not because they're loved, but because they don't have an example of a mother and a father.
Do you know how many children don't have an example of a mother and a father? If half of all marriages end in divorce, what kind of example of a mother and a father do they have?
Even though it's too early to say what the long-term impact of having gay dads will be, if any, there's no denying that right now these are two wonderfully confident girls. Do you ever think about what you want to do when you grow up?
Well, I like art a lot, and I like to design things, so I think I'm going to be an architect.
An architect? Oh.
I really want to be a singer when I grow up.
Sing for me now. Can you sing something for me now?
Long time ago when the earth was green, there was one kind
Well,
of...
Camille did sing every verse for us
Cats and rats and elephants for sure as you're born.
before she received some free advice from her big sister.
It's enough, Camille.
God, sing
very
some sound.
nice.
Do you want me to sing it more?
No, I love it.
No, Camille.
Camille's confidence does seem unbounded. I have interviewed presidents and kings, but never has anyone been quite this honest with me. So I think we're done. I'm obviously keeping Camille awake.
I've been dying to get out of this chair.
It seems as if Joe and Laurent have their hands full, like all parents do, and like all parents probably feel their daughters are growing up too fast. When your children grow older, they may very well marry. When it is time for one of your daughters to walk down the aisle, which one of you will walk down with her?
Both of us.
Both of us. So one of them will be in the middle.
She'll have a dad on each side.
I can't wait.
To much loved little girls. And by the way, if you are wondering which man is the biological father of each of the girls, we couldn't tell. The fathers themselves don't know, but they have said that if and when their daughters want to know, they will have DNA tests. Now,